Kevin O'Leary, Mr. Wonderful? Terence Thomas, better known as Kevin O'Leary, is a Canadian entrepreneur, businessman, and reality star with a nickname like no other, Mr. Wonderful. A man with such an alias must indeed be special, and special he is. There is a short documentary into the life of a man that changed the world. In 1954, Kevin O'Leary was conceived in a middle-class household. O'Leary was born for business because of his mother's mercantile family background and his father's charismatic Irish heritage. Most of Kevin's business insight comes from his mother. She gave him important financial and economic lessons at a young age. These ideas were Kevin's guiding principles and the cornerstones on which he'd eventually construct his empire. When Kevin was a teenager, his perspective on business underwent a significant adjustment. As a teenager, he had worked at an ice cream store as a scooper. Our young Kevin had only worked 2 days in the store when his manager walked in and asked him to scrap some gum off the floor. For Kevin, this was unacceptable. He argued that his duty there was to scoop ice cream and not scrape gum. Well, he was instantly fired. This was a turning point for him. At this point, he realized he did not want to work for anyone. He wanted to be the boss. In 1986, together with business associates Gary Babcock and John Freeman, O'Leary founded SoftKey, a software distribution company in Toronto, Canada. Like all great businesses, SoftKey was started in the basement of his house. Their business produced and distributed CD-ROM-based personal computer software for both Windows and Macintosh systems. The business did not start without a few hurdles. The day before approving the paperwork and handing over his check, a significant funder who had pledged $250,000 investment to the company withdrew, leaving O'Leary searching for funding to back his startup. He established SoftKey software products using the money from the sale of his SET share, and though $10,000 his mother agreed to loan him as seed money. Early in the 1980s, as the personal computer and software industries grew, O'Leary persuaded printer makers to include SoftKey's software in their hardware. With distribution secured, the business created several readings and math-focused educational software packages. The majority of SoftKey products were software intended for home users, particularly compilation CD-ROMs that contained a variety of shareware or freeware games encapsulated in jewel case CD-ROMs. With his success, the ambitious Kevin wanted more. He attempted to acquire a video game business Atari, but failed. He also had a desire to launch a television station for video games, but they never materialized. But he was just warming up. One of his biggest acquisitions ever completed in the consumer software sector took place in 1999 when Kevin sold his businesses to the Mattel Toy Company for an astounding $3.7 billion. He gained control of his capital from his unreliable money managers and established his own equity investment business, O'Leary Funds, to keep his money actively working. From investors that agree with his get paid while you wait, yield-oriented value investing philosophy, hundreds of millions of dollars. O'Leary joined Storage Now Holdings, a Canadian firm run by Riza and Asif Sachu that develops climate-controlled storage facilities, as a co-investor and director in 2003. Storage Now was purchased in March 2007 by Storage REIT for $110 million, becoming the provider of storage solutions in Canada with sites in 11 locations. He received over $4.5 million for his $500,000 worth of shares. Riza Sachu and Wheeler, O'Leary's operating partner, filed a $10 million wrongful dismissal complaint in May 2005, alleging that they had illegally changed Wheeler's share of the earnings and changed an agreed-upon remuneration arrangement. A settlement was reached outside of court. Kevin O'Leary would have many such litigations to deal with in the future. Kevin O'Leary's strategy would soon change. Instead of running his own businesses, he would transition to becoming an investor. O'Leary created O'Leary Funds Inc. in 2008, a mutual fund business specializing in international yield investing. Whereas Shane O'Leary, who is also his brother, has the position of director. He acts as the business's chairman and principal investor. Assets under management for the fund increased from $400 million to $1.2 billion between 2011 and 2012. The main manager of the fund was Stanton Asset Management, which is owned by the married couple of Connor O'Brien and Louise Ann Poirier. Mark R. McQueen's research indicates that by returning invested cash to shareholders, the fund enhanced distribution returns from his funds. Although not exceptional, this went against what O'Leary had said. Another investigation revealed that the return of capital made up 25% of the dividends generated by one of O'Leary's funds. It was not all victory, though. In November 2014, O'Leary Funds Management agreed to pay fines to the Autorité des Marchés Financiers. This was because they had committed some infractions in their dealings, which amounted to breaching some Technical Securities Act rules. O'Leary Funds stated that it had already taken action to address the infractions at the time the agreement was signed. The following year, O'Leary Funds would be acquired by Canoe Financial, a private investment management firm founded by Canadian tycoon W. Brett Wilson. If you already know who Kevin O'Leary is, it is most likely thanks to the popular TV show Shark Tank. O'Leary and Robert Herjavec, two of the CBC's Dragon's Den shareholders, were invited to appear on the American counterpart of Dragon's Den, Shark Tank, when it premiered in 2009. Both have been with Shark Tank from the start till date. Mr. O'Leary has practically become the face of the show. At its zenith in the 2014-15 seasons, Shark Tank averaged 9 million subscribers per episode, turning it into a rating success. It has additionally been a fan favorite among critics, taking home the Primetime Emmy Award 4 times for Outstanding Structured Reality Program. In the 2006 Dragon's Den casting video, he had started introducing himself as Mr. Wonderful, a nickname that has stuck till this day. It has become a branding of his personality. O'Leary has said that he is frequently called Mr. Wonderful in public. This is thanks to his performances on Dragon's Den and Shark Tank. He claimed in a 2013 statement that he couldn't recall how he acquired the moniker. Mr. Wonderful fully embraces his identity as a TV personality and go on to host many other shows. He started sharing the screen on The Lang and O'Leary Exchange on the CBC News Network in 2009 with journalist Amanda Lang. On a 2011 episode of The Lang and O'Leary Exchange, O'Leary lambasted Pulitzer Prize-winning writer Chris Hedges for seeming like a left-wing nutbar. During a discussion of the Occupy Wall Street protests, Hedges declared thereafter that he would be appearing on the program for the last time and contrasted the CBC with Fox News. O'Leary's actions, according to CBC's ombudsman, were against the public network's journalistic standards. Unethical indeed, but the viewers loved the controversy that followed. He would get involved in even more unconventionality with his 2012 reality show titled Redemption Inc., which featured 10 ex-convicts competing for O'Leary's financial support. He also worked for Bell Media as a co-host of Squeeze Play on the Business News Network, BNN, and on September 1, 2014, he joined the Discovery Channel again to work as a participant for its television and radio stations, including CTV. O'Leary appeared on Celebrity Jeopardy on May 5, 2015, and got $10,000 which he donated to charity. From TV, he would move to social media. O'Leary hosted the Ask Mr. Wonderful podcast in 2018, which has 7 episodes. Then he started routinely uploading videos to YouTube in 2019 under the Ask Mr. Wonderful nickname. He has since garnered a huge following on the video sharing platform where he continues to upload his content. Another thing Mr. Wonderful is popular for is his support for crypto. O'Leary first viewed crypto with caution. He told CNBC that Bitcoin is a virtual game and a useless currency in May 2019. O'Leary revealed to Pomp Talk show host Anthony Pompliano in May 2021 that he had allocated 3 to 5% of his portfolio to Bitcoin and was now a smart investor in the Vancouver-based finance platform DeFi Ventures. The business later changed its name to WonderFi Technologies in honor of O'Leary's alias Mr. Wonderful, which he used to refer to himself. Interestingly, and perhaps curiously, Mr. O'Leary has been recently publicizing WonderFi. As a proponent of cryptocurrency investing, O'Leary personally holds coins in the digital currencies Bitcoin, Polygon, SOL, Potherium, and Ether. It was revealed in August 2021 that O'Leary would receive a share in the parent firms of FTX, US and FTX.com as payment for serving as an ambassador and spokesperson for FTX. Fast forward to November 2022, FTX crashes and billions of dollars of both clients and investors of the FTX crypto exchange are lost. Mr. Kevin O'Leary finds himself in the middle of one of the biggest financial frauds in history. He had been a close ally of the former CEO Sam Bankman-Fried, who had used the funds of clients running into several billions of dollars to fraudulently run a leveraging scheme. This has now cast a shadow on the reputation of O'Leary, and it's hard to say if he would be able to redeem himself. Time will tell. We make sense out of finance, microeconomy, and the business space. Subscribe now so you never miss any of our uploads.